system is a functional organ system, and it's made up of many structures. Barriers like your skin and mucous membranes, cells like lymphocytes, macrophages, neutrophils, dendritic cells. There are proteins and other molecules that all work together to protect you from pathogens. Now, pathogens are infectious organisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, prions, nematodes. And you will explore the different pathogens in microbiology. But a bacterium is a cell. It's a very specific type of pathogen. It's an actual cell, whereas a virus is just an infectious particle that has an outer protein coat and an inner DNA or RNA core. We wouldn't consider a virus as a living organism because it needs a host cell to inhabit and replicate. Now, the immune system is organized into lines of defense: a first line of defense, a second line of defense, and then the third line of defense. Both the first and second lines of defense are also called the innate defenses or the innate immune system. Innate meaning these components, whether it's a barrier or a cell or a protein, are non-specific. They don't have any special knowledge of the pathogen. They will attack it, eradicate it without specificity. Now, the third line of defense is the adaptive defense or the adaptive immune system. The adaptive immune system is composed of lymphocytes, T cells, and B cells that have a specificity to the pathogen. They attack a pathogen that they are sensitized to and then eradicate it. The innate defenses are immediate, whereas the adaptive defenses take 7 to 14 days to generate. So let's talk about each of these lines of defense. Now, the first line of defense is composed of all of the barriers. So that outer barrier, your cutaneous membrane, is your skin. Remember, we looked at skin in the integumentary system. And the skin is composed of the epidermis, the outer layer, and the dermis, the middle layer. So in sweat, for example, there is a molecule called dermacidin, and it's toxic to microorganisms. In saliva and tears, there's something called lysozyme. The skin has a low-ish pH, as does the environment of the stomach and the vagina. That acidity inhibits microorganisms. Also, the mucous membranes are coated in mucus, and so that sticky surface will trap debris, particulate matter, as well as bacteria, fungi, viruses. However, if a pathogen breaches that first line of defense, it will encounter the second line of defense. And that includes various cells and proteins, as well as responses that will work together to destroy that pathogen. Phagocytes, that prefix phagos means to eat. Cyte means cell, and so a phagocyte is a cell eater. Phagocytes are non-specific. They're innate. They have no special knowledge of the pathogen. They destroy it with equal force as the next pathogen coming around the corner. Neutrophils, macrophages, those are examples of phagocytes. There are two proteins called complement and interferon. Those assemble or directly lyse a bacterium, and it will cause that cell to undergo apoptosis or cell death. These two responses, fever and inflammation, those are responses that work to mitigate the spread of the pathogen. A fever increases the body temperature, and that increased body temperature is hostile to a pathogen. Inflammation is the increase of blood flow to the site of injury or infection, and that increases the immune response. So both the first and second lines of defense are innate or non-specific. The third line of defense is the specific or adaptive immune system. It is made up of lymphocytes, T cells, and B cells. And these two lymphocytes respond to a pathogen differently than the innate immune system. We will explore T cells and B cells soon. Okay? So overall, the immune system is made up of all of these structures, responses, cells, molecules that work together to identify a pathogen and eradicate it so that it doesn't harm the body further.